Commonwealth of Virginia, there is a big conversation taking place that the voters ultimately will decide should the congressional maps in Virginia be changed. Early voting has already started right now for this redistricting effort that would favor Democrats 10-1. And joining us right now to talk about these efforts is Delegate Bonita Anthony. We appreciate you so much for joining us here this morning to talk about something that is already getting thousands of people to the polls because they want to have their voices heard. So good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I want to start by asking you this. Now, we know that this is being led by Democrats in Virginia. The new maps, if they go through, would be 10-1 in favor of the Democratic Party. It's in response to what we've seen happen across the country in other states. But my question to you is, why do Virginia Democrats believe that the Commonwealth needs to get in on this national fight?
So listen here, Eugene. So when Donald Trump personally directed Republican-controlled states to redraw their congressional maps outside of the normal process to rig the 2026 midterm elections, Virginia has this one chance to answer to that. And so so I just wanted to continue that when other states rig their maps, they are manufacturing a more entrenched House majority. And we're already feeling that impact of that majority right now, especially with policy decisions that are coming out of Washington, D.C. So,
And I think,
when that happens,
go ahead.
that majority, which is not acting in the best interest of the people that put them there, Virginia is not going to sit back and accept it or sit back or let things get worse. And so this is our opportunity to level that playing field and to save our democracy. So I just wanted to make sure that we reiterate, that Virginia is fighting back. We're not going to sit back and let things get worse.
And part of what you said there, I think, leads into my next question there, because, there have been critics and opponents to these efforts. They've called it illegal. You've had people who have said it is simply not fair, also, particularly to Virginians who identify more as Republicans within the Commonwealth. What would you say to those constituents in your district, in your area, who are concerned about their representation at the congressional level in Virginia?
So again, democracy means that your vote actually changes something. It means that when you send somebody to Washington, that you chose them, right? And so what Trump directed was the outcome before anyone sets a foot in the voting booth. And Virginia is just not going to sit back and accept that. And so this is our counter move. And Virginians get a chance to level that playing field and to fight back with this election with a vote of yes. And so this is a temporary measure that levels that playing field, and Virginians get that chance with this election. So we are putting the power back into the hands of the people. Virginia is fighting back because our democracy is worth fighting for.
And as part of that fight, too, we're also waiting. At some point, we expect to hear from the Virginia Supreme Court. They've said that this referendum can move forward on April 21st, but then afterwards, they will provide their thoughts on this entire matter. Can I give you a hypothetical, if I can? We obviously don't know, because we don't have a crystal ball, exactly what the Supreme Court ultimately will decide here in Virginia. But do you think that there is even the chance that if the voters approve this, or if they say no, that the Supreme Court would reverse what the voters have to say?
So I can't predict what the Supreme Court is going to do, but I just know that right now Virginia has this one opportunity. And so we're going to let the voters decide. And so the voters have to make that decision, right? And so they have that opportunity on April 21st to vote yes in order to level that playing field. And so, I want to encourage everyone to vote early if you can. Many of localities have in-person voting designated, by your registrar's office. And we just want to make sure that people have that choice, right? And so it's very important And again, this is a temporary measure. This is Virginia's counter move, and we're fighting back, and we're not going to sit back and let things get worse.
And can you further, one of the things that I've appreciated when we have these conversations in general, we hear the temporary measure, right? And that's a part of this whole conversation. Clarifying that for people right now, if you may, the timeline for all of this in terms of which aspects of it are temporary, what could potentially be further along in this process, because we know typically when it comes to changing these congressional maps, you do it by census years, right, in 10. So we know this is in the midway point of that. So if you can clarify that temporary portion of this conversation.
So the ballot question is very clear, and I sit on the House Privileges and Elections Committee, and we went through that ballot question. We scrutinized it to make sure that it says what it means. And so, the ballot question is clear. It says, should the Constitution of Virginia be amended to allow the General Assembly to temporarily adopt new congressional districts to restore fairness in the upcoming elections, while ensuring Virginia's standard redistricting process resumes for all future redistricting after the 2030 census? And so that ballot question is very clear. And so our answer should be yes, to make sure that we level that playing field.
All right, we have Delegate Bonita Anthony who is speaking to us right now. We appreciate you for joining us. Again, early voting has already begun. April 21st is the day for that referendum ultimately, and we will see. We will see what the Virginia voters will have to say about this. I can tell you I'm just now looking at the updated early voting counts according to our election board here, and it looks like so far at least 646,000 people have cast a ballot, and we imagine there's going to be many more people to do that. Okay, so Sarah, I was just saying one thing real quick. Hold on. Okay, all right. So I just thank you so much for taking the time, Delegate Anthony. We appreciate you for joining, and of course, we'll see what happens come April 21st.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care. So it is good to hear from her. She's going to be one of several people over the next several weeks, of course, that we'll be bringing in to talk about this particular issue. Because there are a lot of stances in which both sides are taking right now when it comes to changing the maps here in Virginia, and at large what it means when it comes to the national conversation, which, as you heard her say, that they want Virginians here in the Commonwealth, and particularly in her district, Norfolk and Chesapeake, to have a say in what happens at the national landscape. The idea being that what happens on Capitol Hill does indeed impact what happens here in our community of Hampton Roads.